All right, folks. I have now played through 2 turns, 2 full complete turns of this first scenario. And I want you to know that I'm keeping my OCS games and I'm selling all the rest of the games I own. So watch out for the sale. Psych. You know that's not going to happen. I'm having way too much fun with everything I play so far. I'm sure I'll come across one that I probably won't like. Okay, so now I'm starting to develop a bit of a flow for this. All right, hard parts of this game. Um, the hardest part of this game for me is uh, doing the bringing in supply. All right, so in these boxes you have these are like an unlimited supply source, but you can only use shipping points or air points to bring them in. So while it was easier on this turn for me to do it for both the Allies and the Axis, I'm still a little bit sluggish with it. I understand that you cannot. So this supply here, I used all 3 shipping points and dropped 3 supply right there. Now they can't be leapfrogged ahead on the same turn they drop. Okay. Units can be brought in, and then they can either move half their allowance before they're picked up or half their allowance after they're picked up. So that's it getting to understand what the air, like, okay, so like that aircraft right there, he can carry 1 token of supply, but if he's only flying half of his range, which is 160 to deliver that supply, like to an airbase, he can double it. So it's like as if he's making 2 trips. If he's flying twice his range, or if he's flying his more than half, so if more than half of his range, he can deliver 1 full point, and then he returns to the base inactive. And then there's one more rule where he can fly double his range, but he has to stay at the air base he's at and go in it. So if he were to fly from Algiers, let's say, 47 hexes or 47 to there, and then another 100 and something or 200 and something hexes to an air base down here somewhere, he would have to stay at that air base and go inactive there, which means you would have to refit him with onboard supply points or tokens. The other thing is the Allied supply or Allied reinforcements can come in this A box. Now you have in the supply chart or the reinforcement chart you have for this, if they don't say anything on them, then they come in this A area here. Okay. Other than that, they will tell you, because there's some reinforcements that come in on the other map. They're not even part of this one. So I think what's happening is you got troops coming in from this side, and then there's another map, I think, that goes off over here somewhere, and you got troops coming in from there. I don't know. I haven't put the second map up to look at it yet. All right, Germans, pretty much their Sicily box works the same way, although they have a bigger advantage because all their air bases are closer. So the air bases I have that I've either captured, like I've captured all these in the south, okay? Really not much use for them unless I bring the bombers down here, that's not going to make any sense right now. But they've got all their fighters that are within 10 hexes of the front line there, so they can intercept anything and everything. However, the Allies went second on this last turn, and their 2 Spitfires, which were refitted, matched the ME-109s that are over here, and they were able to send when they went to intercept. So I did fighter sweeps with the Spitfires and got aborts on both of the ME-109s and sent them inactive back to their base. Then I flew a mission in with 3 bombers and 1 fighter into this hex here. Let me get this out of the way. To where that DG is. And I tried to intercept with every Italian fighter I had, and they got sent packing. One of them, however, did have success in one of the bombers. Oh, no. So we sent them packing. Then you do your flak. So one of the bombers got shot up by flak and flipped over. He still had a couple of barrage points. And then I did a barrage. And I got a DG. And we eliminated one of the units that was in there. Sent him packing. Sent that 3-3 March unit up there. Okay? All right. So that all went pretty smooth. Had all my movements, moving supply trucks all over the place, making sure I get supply to where everybody can get it. Still not strong enough up here to attack. Got to figure this out. I got to get some numbers in there because the Germans are strong up in there. So, 1st Armored Division. Now, they came in from way over yonder. All right. Did their fueling in their move mode. Went all the way across over here, and then they did the combat at the end of it all. Had the numbers. Yeah, thought I did. Had artillery. Did the artillery barrage. It was like 13 strength points, and I think that's where the DG came from. Then, because there was a step loss with the artillery or the air barrage, and then there was artillery barrage. Okay, so then I decided to attack and had the numbers, so I thought. But that green hex is a salt marsh. That water hex obviously is a river. So then the numbers, the columns started dropping. Then you roll for surprise. Well, guess what? I rolled a big fat 2 and then rolled a freaking 4 for the Germans. Well, by the time I finished figuring out all the terrain effects, it was down to a 1-to-1. And then the freaking Germans got a 4-column shift to the left. That's one of the unique things about this game that can make an underdog force, put them in the right location with the right defenses, and they can pull off the victory. Well, they did. They ended up causing 2 step losses on that stack right there. And I ended up taking off both of those 1st Armored Division tank battalions. So I've left one very strong British and one very strong American tank battalion in that hex. And the Germans, they suffered, other than during the barrage stuff, they didn't suffer any losses. They didn't suffer anything in the combat. Okay, so this is chugging along. I assume the Allies took all these objectives. I got to do some reading on this. But I'm going to tell you, this game is definitely positional. Boy, you get some defenders in the right terrain and the right locations, and you get one good attack-rated unit with a good attack, like that freaking German armor right there with a 5. I haven't run any cases yet where it had anti-tank effects and stuff like that. But you get them in the right places and the right terrain, and they can be a stalwart. So you really got to get some big forces in there. So, all right, so I'm starting to grasp this. I'm sure I'm not touching every rule yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting ready to start turn 3. We'll find out who's going to go first on that one there. And I got to keep the reinforcements coming. The Germans, so they have a B box and an A box. If there's anything in the A box, it has to be transported to a port or an airfield, depending on what it is, before you can touch anything in the B box. And if you get reinforcements to come in that go into that A box, and you were planning on moving those guys in that B box, the B box can't be touched until the A box units are over here on land. Shipping, they get 2 in November. December, they'll get 3. So, I'm using that either for units or supply. Let's see what else. The Italian Air Force, they might as well just fly away because they're just pretty much fodder. So, like I said, unless you get a good enough roll, which I think the chart's fine for the emissions, whether you abort or not, or whether both abort, or whether the attacker aborts or the defender aborts. I think the chart's fine. All right, so we're going to see what happens here. All the objectives are up there. I really got no reason to mess around with anything down and try to come up down here. It doesn't do me any good. So we're going to keep pushing, hopefully get more. That was they took a browbeating, though, in that attack right there. Two tank battalions gone. 2 armor battalions gone. So we're going to keep pushing. We've got to push through with the Allies. We got to capture these objectives over here. All right, so that's the end of 2 turns. having a blast with this. I like this. I'm so pumped up. I can't wait to get on to some of the other ones I have. And then, of course, there's the Battalion Combat Series. Then there's the Tactical Combat Series. And, of course, the Strategic Combat Series. And then there's the Grand Tactical Series. Plus, I'm waiting on my stinking MMP games to show up. Wardrobe got his tonight, and I live closer to MMP than he does. And I did not get mine. Darn West Virginia mail delivery system. All right, guys, if you have any of these, get them out and play. Get your game out and play so you can see if I'm doing something wrong, and maybe I can help you out. But I'm telling you, this is I'm having a blast with this. I've only played 2 turns, and now it should start moving faster. All right, we're going to get this posted, and give me your opinions on this. You know the deal. Hey, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. All right. If you want to keep up to date with this stuff, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll get notified every time I shoot a new video, which, you know me, I shoot a lot of them. All right, talk to y'all soon.